another episode of Trailer Trash Talk. I have a special guest host with me today, Blake.
What's up?
How you doing, Blake? Good to see you. And it's a little misleading, the angles we're shooting this at, but we are socially distanced right now. This is more than 6 feet. So we've got a great show with you here. We did more pre-planning the last 15 minutes than I think this show has ever done before. Alright, the first thing I want to start out with is a story I read a little while earlier. So there's a court case going on in California right now that stems from a 2011 incident where a man on Christmas Eve had a tussle with his wife.
That happened in 2011?
He apparently beat this lady to death, and then the next morning threw some sunglasses and a robe on her, complete Weekend at Bernie's style, and propped her up on the couch, told the 8 and 3-year-old children that were in the room that Mommy ruined Christmas, she got drunk, let's open presents, and they proceeded to open the presents. Holy fuck, dude. Like, how did that take 10 years almost to go to trial, and how did we not hear about, like, that should have been fucking nationwide news. I mean...
I did read that earlier, too. So the robe and glasses were part of this too. I did read that.
Yep. Robe and glasses told him that Mommy was drunk. She ruined Christmas. Let's go ahead and open presents.
Yeah, I did read that the police report said that there were holes throughout the wall and blood all over the place. Yeah. Could you imagine the kids like?
I also saw that she was in the process of becoming a. This isn't funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. The irony, I think, is what's getting me. She was in the process of becoming a domestic abuse counselor whenever this happened.
Wow. Well, nobody knows better than from somebody with experience, right?
I guess. But yeah, I could not believe that.
Yeah, the article I read said I think it was one of his lawyer's pitches that they had such a loving relationship when things were good, they were good.
No, I do, yeah, it was something like, there were problems, but there was so much love, and said that he was going to lay out the facts and show you why this wasn't this dude's fault. Their claim, I believe, was that she got drunk, fell onto a glass table, stabbed herself to death, I think was the claim.
Wow.
But we'll see. I mean, everyone has faith in the California legal system, so we will see how it pans out. I think that's the same state where I don't know what we're supposed to call them now, undocumented immigrant came into the country and shot a woman in the face with a shotgun and later got off because it's California. Yep. Like, in public, shot the woman in the face with a shotgun. But,
speaking of, this might have been one of your and Justin's conversation or an article I read. In San Francisco, they were talking about this covering lampposts with plastic to keep the homeless from pissing on the on the lamps because it was eroding, right?
Justin might have talked about that. I think I vaguely remember.
Well, the irony of that is from a state where they're pushing paper straws, they're going to wrap poles in plastic.
Yeah. Destroying the fucking environment. California.
I know, man. The plastic's going to get out in the ocean somewhere.
That one that we filmed was, I think, Tuesday after the Super Bowl, or when, like, I still wasn't 100% right? So I don't remember entirely everything he talked about.
That was a rough weekend, man.
Justin, a lot of times I just nod. Your eyes feeling okay?
Oh, they're great.
They're great. Yep, fun time. I hear
I think I'm going to put some pepper spray in, like, each one of my vehicles, man. I mean, definitely a great deterrent for sure.
I did hear that the Buccaneers won the game. That's pretty sweet. I also heard that Tom Brady became MVP. That was pretty sweet as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh,
Speaking of, you know what I also saw? There is it's like a pistol, but it shoots pepper spray pellets.
You know what? I looked into those, right? I really did. I thought about it, and I figured you'd throw a bitch fit, honestly.
Oh, man.
But I did consider those.
I would be interested to see one, but I mean, to me, it doesn't seem as effective as a spray would be.
There also was a pepper spray that had like a UV thing, and we were planning on spraying you and then calling the cops afterwards and being like, a dusky man tried to, assault me, and I pepper sprayed him with UV pepper spray.
Remember, they did hold me against my will.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, so in national news, let's get your opinion on this. Is Joe Biden ruining our country?
I don't think he knows.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been very nonpartisan. Don't really fall on one side or the other as far as the show's purposes go. Once I'm given some money by one side or the other, I'll be your dude, but for now I'm going to keep it open. The one thing I don't like is gasoline has gone up like fucking 60, 70 cents a gallon.
People will probably argue that, but I'm going to blame that on Biden. I mean, just because that's what everybody does. Everybody blames gas prices on presidents, so it's Biden's fault. And it's not even summer yet. We have like 2 more months until summer, man.
I could be completely off base, but that seemed to coincide with all of the, hey, we're not drilling, you're not doing Keystone, blah, blah. That seems to be, we're getting fucking daily. Yeah.
That's my thoughts behind it.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to go back to only buying from foreign nations and them being able to as fuck us, whenever they want, whenever we want oil.
Yep. I was reading something earlier, but the Keystone pipeline, like the volume of oil that it would move from Canada through North America is incredible, and just so a true oil barrel is 40 gallons, not the 55-gallon drum that everybody regularly assumes, which is news to me. That was a new fact to me. Anyways, semis can only hold so many drums. I think it's like 130 something drums before they meet their gross weight. And then rail cars can only hold X amount. It's no way that any mode of transportation can move the amount of volume of crude oil that this pipeline would have moved.
So you're saying this Keystone XL pipeline was a good thing?
Oh, I believe so personally.
So I wonder if they factored that in, when we're talking about the emissions that these different means of transportation put off, moving the oil back and forth. Aren't these people the ones that are super concerned about the environment?
It's very contradictory. Agreed.
Interesting. I also see that Biden's dog is a bad dog. What was it? Major starts biting everybody in the fucking West Wing.
Oh yeah, he bit one of the Secret Service guys, didn't he?
And they said that they didn't release how serious it was. I noticed. Did Biden's dog potentially kill someone? Are they covering Joe Biden's dog's murdering of Secret Service agents? I mean, I haven't seen these questions posed anywhere else, and I feel like these are the types of things that people need to be asking. I mean, where is the fairness in our media anymore?
Yeah. He was banned from the White House until he gets obedience training.
But they're going to allow him to come back. Now, again, nonpartisan. Let me just play the devil's advocate. I feel like if this was Donald J. Trump in the White House and his dog attacked somebody, there would be a ban on dogs happening today in the United States. You'd all have to turn in your dogs to have them euthanized because they're out there fucking attacking people, and Donald Trump endorses them.
Well, I'm sure there's a story out there somewhere where Trump's dog bit somebody.
I don't even know if the dude had a dog, actually.
That's my point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right, you're right. You are right. Let's see, other news of our illustrious grand leader, Biden's COVID package, it looks like, passed. I believe it was a $1.9 trillion bill, and they said even giving generous estimates, a total of, 800 million of that was COVID related. Like 660 million or billion of that was COVID related, and the other 1 point whatever trillion was nothing to do with COVID.
Nobody has no idea where it's fucking going. Yeah.
And out of all of it, only like 100 or so billion was earmarked for directly fighting the COVID virus. And then you had the rest of that was like education and, general money for local health and state health departments and all this shit. But that means we get more, well, you might not, you rich son of a bitch, but I'm getting more government checks. That's the way we roll around here. Yeah, I might not necessarily agree with it, but fuck, you send me a check that has your signature on it, I'm gonna cash that motherfucker. Like, well, you want me to not take free money? Like,
dude, you know what? I checked the mail earlier, and I had a check in the mail addressed to me. It's always a nice surprise when you open mail and it's a check. Apparently, my last vehicle purchase. Of course, I don't do the financing and paperwork. I just, sign my life away as usual. But according to the statement with the check, I overpaid in taxes and fees, so they refunded me, which is very generous of them, and I'm very thankful. Quite a pleasant surprise.
That is nice. It is not often
that somebody returns
the
money.
government gives you some lube before, they hit you with your yearly tax bill, some shit like that,
Well, it wasn't the government, it was a dealership, but
oh, no, okay.
Yep, on my recent vehicle purchase.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
There we go. So yeah, he's supposed to sign that into law Friday.
He said as soon as it crosses.
Yeah, let me pose this question to you. If they're so concerned about the American citizens, they passed this shit today. Why are we waiting until fucking Friday to sign it? Why aren't we signing this shit on Thursday? Potentially get that shit starting to cash out on Friday. Because look, I need some monies, dude. I don't get paid for another week plus. So we get that shit start going out on Friday. Sooner it gets to my bank account. Yeah, but shit, you're so concerned about us. Why are you fucking you have a nap day planned tomorrow? What's going on? Shit.
Yeah. I've seen somewhere that Mitch McConnell's been kissing ass on both sides of the aisle.
Dude, Mitch McConnell, look, I have disliked him for a very, very long time. And everybody was changing their tune on him when Trump was in there. And I'm like, why are you believing it? Like, you're like, oh, we love this guy. He rolls with the popular thing. Like, he is the biggest front runner you can imagine, dude. I mean, speaking of cash, I did see a story earlier. Trump was telling people, don't send money to the RNC, send it to me. Dude, there are so many of these things, that, if you're not a loyal Trump supporter, they look bad. They look bad. That's what
I've seen a lot of the left was saying that, as they call Trumpists, are a bunch of idiots because all they were doing was donating to Trump's campaign debt. So, I mean, that's what they claim these funds are for.
I mean, I don't know if you saw, but they did release that of the extensive amount of money that they fundraised for his legal fees to fight the election fraud, very little of that shit actually went to paying any legal fees associated with fighting the election fraud.
You might have to edit that,
Huh?
You might have to edit that word.
What's that? That election fraud?
Yeah.
That's why I'm using these. I don't condone. I don't endorse that thought. I truly don't. And I'm not trying to propagate that theory. Although I did write a pretty funny satirical song about someone who believes that the election was stolen. I'm thinking about putting it together and eventually releasing it. I'm afraid it may get banned though because people think I'm being serious. Yeah, dude, if I get demonetized and I'm going to get nothing for these like baker's dozen views I'm getting on each of my videos, and that's going to piss me off.
Breaking the bank, man.
Yeah. I mean, half of my shit gets demonetized already because I play fucking Afro Man or some shit in it. So you know, I gotta wonder though. You have people that do reaction videos to shit on here and don't get demonetized. How the fuck do you make that work? Like, where is the line where you're like, okay?
I think it's copyright things. You just have to give those guys credit.
Maybe, but like my championship video where I use the Soviet propaganda music. How the fuck? Who the fuck do I credit for that? Like,
the commies.
Vladimir. I mean, what the fuck? Anyway, I guess we'll stick with politics here for another minute. So Matthew McConaughey potentially running for governor of Texas.
I'd vote for him.
Yeah, you know what? I probably would too.
All right.
I know. You know, his name is escaping me. The current governor, Abbott. He certainly has a lot of people that hate him. When you look at a lot of the numbers, though, I think that he did a decent job during this COVID thing as far as keeping unemployment down and having his death rate relatively low, especially when you compare it to all the other big states like California and New York. I think he did a pretty decent job, and I think he's potentially going to try and maybe use that to propel himself for some type of run in 2024. But I think that's the exact same thing. Yeah. Potentially maybe even be one of the presidential candidates running for the Republicans, because I think Ron DeSantis is going to do the same thing. Florida did exceptionally well when you look at unemployment, death rate, all of this shit.
That's because they didn't shut shit down and all the mandates. And speaking of, a lot of people are bitching about Texas doing all these lifts right now. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Louisiana followed suit. That's just my personal belief. But, you know, people feel different ways about it, and they're entitled to feel however they do. But I wouldn't complain if they lifted it here. So.
Look, number one, like what Texas did, if you really look at it, it removed the statewide mandate, which I think most people fucking ignored anyway, especially in Texas. If it's anything like Louisiana, it's not readily enforced. What it is enforced by is individual businesses, which still maintain the right to do that, even when they've removed the statewide mandate.
But he also gave a lot of his businesses right to full occupancy now, so which is going to be great for a lot of restaurant owners. I mean, you think they're going to turn people down because it's mandated now? Hell no. They're like, come on, we got some food for you, just bring your cash.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if their numbers start to go back up and all this different shit. Now again, I'm not one of these hardline Trumpists or any of that shit, but it is peculiar when you look at the actions by some of your Democratic governors and different politicians and the reactions they're having to all the COVID shit now, you know, versus a couple of months ago. And I guess you could argue, well, it's the vaccine. I still think the number of people that have been inoculated are pretty low, though. When
you've seen there's been some mortality rates in women with some of
I
these
saw
vaccines?
the Moderna one in particular. Like, they had a 39-year-old mom in Colorado or some shit that died like 2 days after getting the second dose. I mean, I think that's to be expected whenever you're administering something to people that had very little, you know.
Well, Florida's been like, fuck you the whole time, and I mean, shit, they've been rolling along.
Yeah, I mean, It is what it is, but no, I think McConaughey running for governor would be interesting. I am afraid though that you're going to start to see a trend now that the Don got the presidency of all these jackass actors being like, well, I can do this.
I mean, I feel like McConaughey would do a hell of a lot better job than old Arnold Schwarzenegger ever did for great state of California.
Well, McConaughey can at least pronounce the state that he would be governing over, so I mean, I feel like that would already give him a head start in most people's eyes. Did you watch the groundbreaking interview with the royal couple or potentially ex-royal couple and Oprah?
I caught highlights of it. I'm not particularly too fond of Oprah. I mean,
whoa.
At least
is that racist?
No, I just.
If you dislike her, it's got to be racist. There's no other answer.
She's an amazing society. That's absolutely.
She is an amazing, strong, brave woman.
She, in the past 20 years, I don't think so. But
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't stand her voice. I hate hearing her voice. I really do.
I just feel like she has no touch with private.
She's lost touch, is what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely.
She's completely out of touch with the people that take her show in daily and like, that's what you're saying. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. But
I mean, it's just weird. I mean, the irony of somebody who has no sense of any of those things, consulting people on everyday problems that she's never faced. We don't have to face.
That's true. Like one of Bill Burr's bits, he talks about how she's talking about how being a mother is the most difficult, difficult job. He's like, how the fuck does she know?
Exactly.
She's never been a mother. How the fuck does she know that?
Exactly. Exactly.
But to be fair, again, because I like to play it right down the middle here. Being ultra rich for as long as she has, it's probably hard to truly stay in touch with people, that are fucking poor, with the normal person. It's probably not the easiest thing to do.
I feel like it's a choice. In some ways, I mean, you don't want to be in that position and then get mugged every time because of the neighborhood you're living in. But I mean, you got to keep it real a little bit too.
Keep it real. That's true. That is true.
But speaking about their interview, now I caught highlights of it. Basically, the biggest part that I took out of it was the royal family being concerned about the color of their baby.
Which, alright, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know Meghan Markle was like black or biracial or whatever she is until I read that interview. I thought she was just like, alright, let's be honest. Blake, you're Caucasian, correct?
Yes.
Alright, so when you look at the difference between me and Blake, we don't necessarily look like the same race, but he's dusky. And that's kind of what I thought about Meghan Markle. I mean, I thought she was a little bit more tanned, and she's an actress, so I figured, it's part of her job, right? So I was shocked to learn that the royal family allegedly was concerned about little, not Prince Archie's, potential skin color. I will say that when you're mixing a half black with the ginger gene, I'm not sure you're going to get a dark-skinned baby there, bro.
The baby didn't look dark-skinned to me.
But
yeah, in this day and age, I wonder if that was that possibly what was exactly said? I mean, it's a he said, she said thing, Or,
you're familiar with Piers Morgan, correct?
Yeah, you seen he got up and walked out.
He quit his job the day after because he basically said she was full of shit.
He walked out in the middle of television.
Yeah, he basically said she was full of shit, that did not happen, which
I mean, it's a
Again,
controversial subject right now, and if you're trying
was-
to push a point, I mean, it would be a good stance, but
there's really no way to know. I mean, Piers Morgan, I don't think knows for a fact that that wasn't said, right?
but you know, I think what I did hear his issue was people were debating with him because he questioned the legitimacy of her mental health.
Yeah, yeah.
Which that's very.
It's another one that's a touchy thing because
Exactly.
he doesn't know, but
Nobody knows, and you can't judge the caliber of somebody else's mental health if they're holding it in. That's usually what happens, and then people off themselves, and you're like, oh shit, they were being serious.
I mean, one way or the other, the Duchess obviously has some type of mental issue. She was either suicidal or she's making all this shit up now for attention. One way or the other, there's something at play up there, right?
Yeah. I like the part where they questioned her, where Oprah questioned her if she made Kate cry.
Well, that's the thing. Reports came out of the kingdom over there that she was apparently abusive and fucking ruthless to all of those little handmaidens and servants that they had. Like, she was a fucking monster, allegedly. Her daddy came out and said that she was full of shit about all the claims she made about the royal family being racist. But it did include that she is somewhat estranged from her father.
Maybe he don't want to get cut off from the teat, so.
Well, I don't think he's on the teat.
Well, but he's trying to make his way there, you know what I mean? And she's not helping it any if that may be the case.
He said that she never told him anything about her being potentially suicidal. And he said, had he known that, he would have absolutely been there for her. So, like I said, it does make you wonder about the validity of some of this, but you obviously can't question someone who's making these claims, because then you're a dick.
Hey, I've seen headlines earlier. They're discussing stripping their titles. Is it hearsay?
I know. I'm sure that the royal family, even though they've said otherwise, is fucking furious.
But I mean, and this has been going for a while too. They've already stripped their security clearances.
Yeah. Because I mean, they gave up all of their duties. I mean, that makes sense to me. I mean,
in their defense, I mean, I'd imagine that'd be a huge relief. Hey, they're living their best life in California now.
Yeah, except that they weren't planning on getting cut off from that royal trust fund was the issue. So they all but came out and basically said that it was his brother that was making these racial claims about the child because he said it wasn't, the queen or her husband. I guess it potentially could have been his father, but I got more of the feeling they were making it sound like it was, I think, William is the brother. And, so these are Diana and, maybe Charles. Diana and Charles's kids. Andrew is Charles' brother. He's the pervert.
The Epstein guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, it's completely something that you wouldn't know as far as any of the shit, but it's a bad look, ultimately, coming over and going on Oprah and fucking putting them on blast. Like, what the fuck do you expect?
She hasn't been on television for a while, I mean, but to come out for this, I mean, it definitely seems like a publicity stunt, but hey, you never know.
It 100% was, and I think it has a lot to do with the Royal Trust Fund drying up and them needing to, a cash grab. I think that's a lot of what it was. But, I guess this looks like it might be one of the last political things, but, you ever heard of a guy named Andrew Cuomo? Well, if you're a woman, watch out. Because he is apparently running around fucking groping everyone. I mean, this shit has come out one after another. And this is on top of all the old people he murdered. Which, this somehow blew that right. And look, this is a big deal. But I'm not quite sure I agree with this being a bigger reason to get him out than all the old people he murdered. I mean, I feel like that should still be 1A in this situation, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, we've had 6 women that come out now accusing him of something or another. The most recent one says that she was called to the governor's mansion allegedly to help him figure something out on his phone. And he almost immediately upon her arrival put his hand under her blouse and started aggressively groping her.
I did watch that particular one. I didn't see any or hear anything about the other cases, but yeah, that happened quite some time ago, according to her.
I mean, and the funny thing, the really funny thing, I think, is that they were calling for him to resign, and somebody introduced a resolution to impeach him, and he came out and said, you know what? That's that's anti-democratic to do that. I was elected by the people to do a job, and blah, blah, blah. It's anti-democratic to want to remove me. And, it just strikes me again as ironic, because I'm pretty sure this is one of the dudes that was all on board with the impeachment process not that long ago. But yeah, this dude is a shitbag for a governor. And the scary thing, though, is that I saw a report not that long ago that there was still like 60% of New Yorkers that thought he was doing a really great job.
Blows my mind. Speaking of sexual allegations and stuff, just that scenario reminds me a little bit of cancel culture. You seen they canceled Pepe Le Pew?
Yeah, I did, and you know what? I've thought the same thing for years, but to really think that that is more influencing rape culture than your, high-name governors going around groping people, that's kind of... Because these same people that are saying cancel Pepe Le Pew aren't saying impeach Cuomo, which,
Hey, I agree. I just hope they don't get my dude Johnny Bravo, so...
Hey, yeah. I found this. I wanted you to see this. This is... They're saying that Meghan Markle is basically playing up the boy's mommy issues from losing his mama, and they show all of the outfits that she's wearing here that are like identical to Diana's outfits.
Oh.
That's some fucking creepy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking creepy shit. Like I said, I don't think there's nothing good about that Meghan Markle bitch. I'm sorry, Lady Duchess Meghan Markle. Well, maybe she's not Duchess anymore. But yeah, that shit's weird, huh?
She better look out.
Producer Kenny posted that. But yeah, so Cuomo is just going after any ladies, it looks like. Mafia boss type mentality there, dude.
They need to out him.
Yep.
Get him out.
So, what's this you were telling me earlier about we can travel to Oklahoma and run down protesters in the street?
Oklahoma House passes a bill that grants immunity to people who run over protesters in traffic.
That's amazing. How does it work? Can we go out of state when we hear there's a protest happening?
I didn't hear the details, but I mean, if I was an Oklahomian, then I'd be all for it. I mean, if somebody's going to stand in traffic on a public highway, and I mean,
Did you say Oklahomian?
Yeah, Oklahomian.
I would assume it's Oklahoman. But
hey, it could be. What do they call locals?
Okies. Yeah, but that makes me think, I don't care what the protest is. I mean, there's a protest.
If you're standing in traffic, I mean, you're kind of asking for it.
Go on a little vacation. You got a big truck. It probably wouldn't do much damage. I mean, to your truck.
Well, it's either getting beat by a mob or
not
make
if
an
you
insurance
go
claim.
fast enough.
I'm not. I mean, it's kind of like the protesters that pulled that trucker out and beat him to death a while back. I mean, shit, he should have never slowed down for anything. So.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Some states, even till today, had he kept going, he would have been charged for numerous crimes.
Yep.
Had he hit, injured or killed anybody standing in the road.
You know what? I do think. Now, obviously, you don't want situations like you had in I forget what city it was, where you had the dude that plowed into the crowd again, they were on the street though. But
That
you
happens
don't.
like every Mardi Gras. I mean,
Oh, that's true. You're right.
some
You're right.
drunk, like gets blackout and runs people over.
You're right. I mean, so look, I do think, but that leads into a bigger discussion nationally, you know, about self-responsibility, which nobody wants to have or to hear about. But yeah, you know what? If you're in the street, a street being the thing that cars normally travel on, I don't think you should be shocked if your ass gets run over. And you should expect that that could be a possible consequence of being in the street, you know? But again, we can say that about a lot of things. You know, if you disobey police, you would assume that you would think a possibility is you could be shot, pepper sprayed, tasered, all of the above.
Well, that reminds me, I saw a video the other day. A mob of protesters or somewhere, and there was a single cop. They surrounded his car, and he couldn't get him out of the way, and he pretty much plowed over him in fear of his life. And they, you know, a lot of people were asking, should he be criminally charged? I mean, I saw the videos personally. I don't think he should be. He was a single person there, and with a single weapon, and there's no way he could have fought off a mob by himself. So, also, did you see where? Not sure where it was, but so there's this police station. I would imagine somewhere up north where it's cold. There was this police station, you know, and they parked the police units, the cruisers in the garage. I want to say it was Antifa, was building berms outside the parking garage so the police couldn't get out of the parking garage. So these snow berms were blocking the cruisers from exiting the facility.
Wait. So Antifa was doing something like destructive and counterproductive?
I know, right?
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that. Dude, I remember seeing a video not that long ago.
But the audacity outside of a police station, though. I mean,
But and I'm
go
not
out and jail these idiots.
I'm not blaming the police, but they're kind of becoming, some of them especially, a little bit of pussies right now.
Yeah.
Because I saw a video not that long ago. A dude got out his car to chase somebody on foot. Dude ran around, got in the dude's car, and he was like, "Stop! Don't get in there! Stop!" And at no point, dude got in his car and drove off. And the dude was terrified to do anything, you know. I mean,
well,
dude,
you got to look at it from their standpoint, man. They're damn.
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them, but they're to the point where they're terrified to do anything.
People are quick to lynch them nowadays.
And it's like, fuck, dude. I mean,
it's not like the cop that cut off his body camera and then beat the guy to death, you know.
Okay,
but
I find that wrong. I want to go on the record right now. I disagree with that. All right,
that was absolutely wrong. But you know what I mean? It's the cops who are trying to do right. They're like, man, what do I do in this situation? You know, all training out the window because you know they could be criminally charged like the rest of us, and they're in fear of that nowadays. So, and it's a messed up situation.
The problem is, all right, and we are a pro-police show, except for the ones that are dickheads. That is the problem, though. You have a lot of maybe it's not even a lot, but you have some police that are pieces of shit, you know, that get the badge and it gives them some type of, I guess they were missing something in their life, you know, and this gives them some, you shouldn't be that gung-ho, you know, to be a police. You know, your job as a police, to me,
protect to serve.
It's not to be a fucking military operative, which I think a lot of these douchebags think that they are. Like, I have a customer at the place where I work. Complete fucking douchebag. He's a retired police, and you can tell without him ever telling you that, but he will tell you that. You can tell that that's what this dude is, because he walks with just this arrogance and disdain for anybody. Complete fucking asshole, dude. His name is like Oyster, but you take out one of the letters. Complete fucking asshole. Can't stand the dude. Like, he goes out of his way to be a dick to each and every person, and it's that type of person that grows just this ire for police in general. And I legitimately feel bad for the ones that go to work to do their job and to not fuck with people, you know. I feel bad for them because they're targeted just as much, if not more, just for wearing the uniform.
Yep, agreed.
But yeah, I think it's a conundrum because I think you need to have higher standards to keep these just low-life pieces of shit out of the ranks. But so few people want to be a police right now because, you know, you sign up for that, your ass might get shot tomorrow sitting in your squad car drinking a coffee, you know?
Yeah. Pretty messed up situation.
I mean, and I think probably most places are doing just the opposite and lowering the standards because you have, you know, complete police forces in some cases that are pretty much walking out and saying, fuck this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I saw that Portland disbanded a police unit that was responsible for tracking down and retrieving weapons, firearms that were illegally possessed, that were known about pretty much. They disbanded that, sunk it into like community organization bullshit. All of a sudden, their murder by gun numbers are skyrocketing, and they're like, well, it's not the fact that we disbanded the police unit that was responsible for this, you know, it's COVID, it's the economic downturn, it's
I mean, is Antifa still holding like their own, what do they call it, block or whatever, blockade that they had in the city?
I mean, actually, I think that, like, right after the election, the governor went ahead and took care of that.
Well,
but I think that shit has all been pretty much put to an end.
I don't think Portland police should be used for any standard in policing. So.
And again, I don't really blame it on them. I mean, they're being directed from on high to pretty much not do shit.
They need some hard-ass sheriffs like what's that guy from Arizona or the one from Michigan?
Talking about Sheriff Joe, and then you're talking about the black man with the cowboy hat.
Yeah,
like, you know.
Yeah, there's some badasses. I bet you people in their town won't be pulling that bullshit.
So to get off of those wonderful subjects, did you see that Dak Prescott signed a mega deal to keep him in Dallas and end the contract?
I did not.
Just clusterfuck that had been going on.
I did not.
So he signed for 4 years, $160 million.
160.
With $127 million of those dollars fully guaranteed. 75 or 77 million of which he's going to get in year one.
That's big money. That's probably one of the highest contracts
That is the
ever.
highest guaranteed contract ever. Patrick Mahomes averages out to about 45 million a year. And I think there may actually be one or two that average slightly more than his 40, or it might be slightly below.
That's insane. Even Breeze and Brady weren't that high. Who else was up there?
I mean, Rodgers. Nobody has, other than Patrick Mahomes.
They had like, what, 5-year, $100 million deals or something?
Well, I mean, part of it is the economic landscape is changing in the NFL. There's talks that potentially within 5 years the salary cap is going to be up to $250 million. It's going to be 182.5 this year coming up.
And we are talking about Cowboys, big money. So.
But I mean, you've had a lot of people sign for big money, but
hey, I mean, if I was coming off of a broken ankle and somebody offered me $160 million, I was damn sure would be signing.
That's part of the reason it's fucking insane, though. I mean, you don't have any clue what this dude is even going to be like.
Shoot, I'd be like, where's the paper? Somebody bring me pens.
I mean,
extra, just in case this one goes out. I need to make sure my signature's on that paper.
I mean, he's signing the largest ever guaranteed contract, and you could make the case that if he's in the top 10 of quarterbacks playing right now, it's borderline. I mean, it's just mind-blowing to me.
I mean, I would say he's a good quarterback. He's not great by any means, but
well, they made a big deal. He was putting up big numbers last year, and my number, I might be slightly off here. I think he played around 5 games, and they were about 2 and 3 in the games that he played. And one of those wins was against Atlanta, where they should have never won the game, except Atlanta didn't know how the fuck to recover an onside kick in one of the biggest debacles we've ever seen. But in all those games, he had big numbers. They were all after he had been completely shut down in the first half of these games, couldn't do more than a couple of field goals. and then he'd throw for 400 yards in the second half. I mean, it's didn't result in a win, so it's still not that impressive, Jimmy, you know?
Yeah.
And they want to make
that
a big
contract's
deal.
Impressive, though. Shit.
I mean, good for Dak, but bad if you're a Cowboys fan and they have to figure out now between Dak, Amari, Zeke, and DeMarcus Lawrence, you've got pretty much $100 million there out of your $180 million salary cap, and that's not the way it's going to work, because like Dak's actual salary cap hit this year is like $22.5 million. Somehow they were, which that's also amazing. He's getting 70-something million, and his salary cap is like 20. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, I don't know though how you can put a winning team out there when you've got that much locked up in just 4 or 5 players.
Impressive.
Yeah, I mean, good for Dak, but damn.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. Dude has never won anything. I think he's won 1 playoff game in his career. And he's second only to the dude that won MVP and a Super Bowl MVP within his first 2 years of starting. I mean, it's crazy.
Definitely wild.
So, let's talk about your team. The Saints fucking suck. They're on the road to sucking more next year than they ever have in any of these years when they were cheated out of, winning their playoff games. They started, I think, like $60 million under the cap. Then between restructuring and dropping, Morstead and a few other people, they were down to like $40 million over the cap. And your boy still hasn't retired. He might try and come back another year, which would just fuck y'all.
They need to just pull Russell Wilson on over here from the Seahawks.
Yeah, you'd have to get rid of Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, and Alvin Kamara to get that to maybe happen. So then you're going to get Russell Wilson on a gutted team with no money and no playmakers.
Did you see the beef between our great mayor LaToya Cantrell and the mayor of
I did, and the mayor of Seattle fucking shut this bitch down, dude. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Which LaToya Cantrell's video was hard to watch anyway. I mean,
she's hard to watch on any day.
Dude, that shit was, yeah, I was like gritting my teeth. It was bad. But then the Seattle mayor answers back with, we need an NBA team or some shit like that. And that's a real fucking possibility, bro, especially the way the Pelicans are playing. They keep getting star players and different coaches, different front office, and we always find a way to fuck shit up. It's really amazing. I think the city might be cursed, honestly. I mean, I really do. But, yeah, so the Saints suck. Looks like they're going to continue to suck.
Breeze needs to retire. He does.
I mean, Breeze needs to retire. This year is just going to be a lost year for them. So if Breeze comes back, I think it's pointless. They need to trade Michael Thomas. They need to fucking cut, what's the white boy that can't play quarterback but tries to play quarterback? I forgot his name.
Taysom Hill.
They need to cut Taysom Hill. $15 million a year for a dude that's not great at anything. Like I told you, it's just ridiculous.
Sweet gig for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. He only has to play, 7-8 snaps a game, and he's making, great for him. But pay a backup $15 million. Like, why are we so much over the cap? I fucking wonder. And that pretty much means if you get a quarterback and pay him decent quarterback money, you're going to have $40+ million tied up between the starter and the backup. And I think they somehow reworked it where Breeze has a $1 million cap hit this year. But it's just insane, dude. It's insane. So they suck. Pelicans suck. About to see them.
Breeze needs to retire. And needs any work, he should just work on the endorsements. He
has like ownership in Jimmy John's or some shit. Just fucking do that full time. Stop running.
Walk-ons,
Well, and he supposedly has a gig lined up to go to, I think, CBS or some shit, but then he talked about how, he wouldn't kneel for the flag before he did a whole bunch of backtracking. And that could have potentially fucked that up. And look, I don't want to hate on the dude, but I don't think I want to stare at that fucking birthmark on my TV all day. Like, I'm not a fan of that idea, honestly.
He spent most of this year out in injury. I just think he's getting old and brittle. So, and he's lost his arm.
I mean, he has bones made of glass. He's got a fucking rubber arm. I mean, yeah, dude, it's over. If you want to throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field, you need somebody not named Drew Brees on the ball.
Yeah.
They're making a big deal about him pushing a weight sled up a street in California. That's great if he's in good shape. Show him throwing the ball down the field, and let's talk then. Like, jeez. That's pretty much everything I had written down. Yeah, the Pelicans suck again. Still, again. Games, I think, started back tonight. I don't know if the Pels played, but they're about to have to start selling off their, J.J. Redicks and potentially Lonzo Balls and shit because they're not being competitive. Reddick's on an expiring deal, and I don't think Lonzo Ball wants to come back here.
I don't watch basketball much, but I catch highlights on the news or whatever, or headlines, and man, it seems like all of their games have come down to the wire too. They'll have like a 20-point lead or something and blow it to the end of the game, and a lot of their games end up that way.
It is remarkable, their inability to close out games. I forget, they were playing somebody before the All-Star break, and I mean, they had a 20-point lead plus pretty much the entire game. In the fourth quarter, they scored 13 versus the other team's like 40.
Wow.
I mean, it just, they find a way to lose when it does not seem possible. It's to the point where they had a game a couple of nights after that one I was telling you about where they had a 5-point lead and the clock stopped with like 2 seconds left, and I was like, I can't really turn it off because I think they could still find a way to lose this at this point. Like, I truly feel that. I mean, but we got this big New Zealander named Steven Adams that's playing on the Pelicans now. That dude is awesome. He's like 6'10", 6'11", fucking pure muscle, and he just fucking...
New Zealander, huh?
Yeah, he's a big motherfucker, long hair. He's pretty cool. I like him. Him and Zion are good. But dude, they need some fucking work.
You think it has a lot to do with the coaching staff changes over the years?
Yeah, I mean...
It just seems like right here the team just doesn't really mesh.
Well, the guy they brought in Van Gundy, who hasn't been good since he was with the Magic, and that might not have even had anything to do with Stan Van Gundy. That could have been Dwight Howard, But, I mean, he sucked in Detroit, then I think he might have went to the broadcasting booth for a year, then we brought him out of there, but the dude we got before was an assistant with Golden State, and surprising to everyone, you move him to another team, doesn't have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, that system doesn't work quite as well. So, never had success here. It's just, the front office was bad for a while with Dell Demps making stupid moves, and like trading away Buddy Hield, who was a young point guard, for DeMarcus Cousins, who promptly got injured, but you had all of your money, your two best players were both forward/centers. The NBA isn't that type of game anymore. Like, just none of it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, speaking of sports, sexual allegations and salary caps, how about your boy Les Miles?
This is bad for him, but dude, this looks worse on LSU than it does anybody because they brushed this under the rug. They didn't mention anything about it, any of their people, whenever
if you think this doesn't happen at any high-performing athletic program on any college campus,
I think it does. I think when you're talking about the head coach being involved, I don't think that happens at every,
I agree. Maybe not the head coach, but these types of allegations.
Oh no, these types of situations
kind of get brushed under the rug.
They absolutely do, but it's normally involving the players and the coaching staff wanting to keep the player eligible to play.
Yeah.
You do have situations sometimes where somebody on the coaching staff gets accused, promptly gets removed when it comes to light.
But head coach, huh? Head coach.
I mean,
him and Kentucky had to part ways, and
Kansas,
I've seen some.
yeah.
Also, I mean, Kansas had to part ways, and then was it, they owe him something like 1.7, 1.9 million?
Yeah, and then the AD got fired. I think today, the athletic director, the one who hired Les Miles. Yeah.
Wow. So they're going deep with it, huh?
Well, I mean, and you know what?
And they said Les Miles leaving Kansas. It was a mutual agreement for both parties' best interests, but.
I mean, there was no way Kansas was letting him back after that.
Oh, absolutely not. They probably knocked on his door and he was like, "Yep, packing my shit now."
Well, hell, we might see Les Miles as new head coach of SLU or Louisiana Tech here in the next couple of years. I mean, he's going to be in a situation where he's looking for any type of gig.
Well, I hope he saved his money because he made a shit ton of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hard to feel sorry for the dude. Not an LSU fan, so never was particularly fond of him. But yeah, that's a little bit surprising because, like I said, you don't expect it from a head coach. And it's also surprising that they kept it so under wraps for this long. But yeah, it's hard to really feel bad for him, Oh, the Kimye thing. Yeah. Kim and Kanye splitting.
Oh, shit.
That was pretty surprising to me when I first saw that.
Them being together in the first place was very surprising, but you know what?
I mean, nice looking woman with a big ass and big titties. It's not a racial thing. I mean, I like nice looking women with big asses and big titties too.
No, I agree. I mean, maybe it's just my dislike for Kanye. I don't know.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I just don't like Kanye, man.
Come to my window. Come inside.
Humble because he came from nothing to something.
I mean, he's absolutely cocky and arrogant, but he's like the Black Beetle. He's like music Jesus. He is a musical
I didn't
genius.
find his. I disagree with that. His music didn't move me. Put it that way. Some of it back in the day, the original stuff was a little catchy. Didn't move me, but it was catchy. I get it. It was just part of the era.
I think it's the big white honky ears of yours, bro. You're not hearing it right. You're not hearing it right. I'm telling you.
He's not putting it out right.
Oh, come on.
Maybe
He's
that's why
genius.
Kim's leaving him.
No, she's leaving him because those sisters, that family, has a track record of ruining great men, sucking all that they have out of them, and then tossing them to the side. I mean, Kanye's lucky that he got out.
Chasing men.
He is lucky that he got out before they talked him into cutting off his penis. Honestly. Look at old Bruce or Kathleen or Caitlyn.
You definitely get demonetized for that.
What you mean? What do you mean? I'm sorry. Caitlyn Jenner is a beautiful, wonderful butterfly. I think she's an amazingly brave woman. Honestly, he's lucky he got out early. A couple more years, and yeah, we're looking at fucking Kenyatta. That's what we would have had in 2 more years. It would have been Kenyatta West, and so I guess on one hand I'm happy for Kanye. But look what they did to Lamar Odom. He was an all-star forward to the Los Angeles Lakers. He gets with a Kardashian. The next thing you know, he's out of the NBA and he's doing crack. It's what they do, dude.
They just have bad taste in men, man. Or maybe the men have bad taste in the Kardashians.
I think that is more of the case because, like I said, these are all successful, top of their game men whenever they get with these Kardashians. Bruce Jenner was an Olympic athlete, Olympic gold medalist, Look what he turned into. No offense, I think she is a wonderful woman, but she is a far cry from what Bruce Jenner was when he was on Wheaties boxes, One more thing I want to bring up before we close. So you've seen the laws that are being passed to allow the tranny men to compete against women in like high school and college athletics.
No, fuck that. That shit needs to go. That is
No. You're looking at it the wrong way.
no,
all right? No,
fucking not.
Give me a second. All right, I think by NCAA
Did you see
rule.
the
Hold on.
man
Hold
as
on.
the
Hold
women's
on.
basketball
Hold on.
coach? Did you see the man?
I coached a girls' basketball team before. What is that supposed to mean?
Coaching's different, but I mean,
All right.
this guy's playing on a women's team.
So let me give you my thought.
That's not fair by any means.
I think.
You ever seen the episode of Futurama when
Hold
Bender
on.
changes sexes? Kind of reminds me of that situation.
By NCAA regulation, I think that you and I each have 4 years of NCAA athletic eligibility left. We could go and compete on the women's wrestling team.
I still think we're inferior to athletic collegiate women.
In certain things, yes, but look, just
Me, you and I are. I mean, not other athletic men who decide to cut their dick off or.
But look, we don't even necessarily, and if we go into something like wrestling, I think that we naturally start off with an edge, just because
I don't know. Some of those girls could definitely kick our ass.
Maybe. But look, the point is that we're going to be hailed as brave and groundbreaking. We'll get publicity, we'll get potential endorsements,
We
which
also
means
might
money.
get shot by the other side too.
No, because
There's a lot of people opposed to it, and I'm one of them.
I'm going to be pretty. Well, look, I'm opposed to it unless I can find a way to make money off of it. And like I said, I'm a brave. I identify as a woman, but I have a beard, and I'm not shaving that shit. I'm just going to be a woman with a beard. I'm comfortable enough with myself to not try and alter myself to what your view of a woman is. I am a brave, beautiful woman, just the way I look, and that's how I'm going to compete.
We'll look at what's its name?
That seems offensive.
Well, I mean, he's definitely a he, not a she. What position is that Biden appointed? The transgender.
I did see something about a tranny being put in our government. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I haven't looked at it being the article, not the person, like you so offensively referred to them as.
Oh, the article, yes, absolutely.
No, I did see that. I haven't gotten a look at it, but no, that's what I'm saying. They're all for it, so why would we not take advantage of it? You know,
well, I don't know. It's just I'm not for it, man.
I'm not for it either.
They fucking canceled Mr. Potato Head.
They reversed that. I did see they reversed that. They did still cancel a bunch of Dr. Seuss, and I see now they're axing. Disney Plus is taking away from children the ability to watch Dumbo, the ability to watch Peter Pan, and there was a third one that I'm forgetting right now. Which Aristocats.
Oh yeah, because the Asian
Chinese cat.
Yeah.
Which, dude, this is ridiculous. And they apparently you can watch it if you're an adult, but they put a fucking disclaimer on there to keep you from being offended.
That kind of makes me want to go back and be like, man, we have all the OG Disney movies on VHS cassette tapes. Because you ain't going to be able to get that shit before long. You're not going to be able to find it on the internet because it's going to be banned and outlawed. Man, so those things are going to be worth gold to all these people who's been movie collecting Disney videos for the past 40 years.
I do think it's interesting. And I would like to have, because I'm sure he watches, the opinion of the one member of our league that refers to himself, I think I'm being verbatim here when he says he is a neo-socialist liberal douche. I may have added the douche part on, but that's literally how he refers to himself. As far as I can recall, throughout history, societies or governments that go towards banning, media, whether it's books or whatever, generally are not on the right side of history. So I would just like to know what his thoughts were on that, because just when you look back, it's never the good guys that are saying you can't read this, that you can.
Hey, next is going to be the firearms they're coming after. So.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
hey, they're even trying to cancel Eminem. Did you read any articles about that? I've seen a few headlines.
White guy that raps Eminem?
Absolutely.
Well, he should be canceled. I mean, I don't have any issue with that. I'm all against cancel culture, but he's one of theirs. I mean, he's all liberal and shit.
Oh, I agree. But hey, look, you ride middle of the line. You know what I mean? Look, we see both sides of you.
No, absolutely. I'm just saying, personally, I dislike Eminem because I think his music is garbage. It's not because of his political views, but I do think that as an entertainer, you need to keep your fucking political views to yourself, because you're there to entertain us, not to enlighten us. I mean, I don't think this dude is educated enough to give us a lesson on... It's my same issue with fucking LeBron James telling us about this shit. You didn't go to college, bro. Like, you went straight from high school.
It's kind of how I feel about Oprah.
Did she go to any type of higher
I'm sure
learning?
she's educated, but like just no sense of touch. Like not in touch with the situation.
You know what? She could be educated. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had a girl that worked for us recently. She got a 35 on her ACT. She got a 1420 or some shit on her SATs. Right? This bitch was legit fucking smart.
And still pushes the door when it says pull.
Dude, you almost nailed it straight on the fucking head. So she's closing with me one night. I locked the doors. Alright, so I tell this girl she can go home. And like I said, she's smart as fuck, right? She walks into the door.
Oh, so it's door related too.
Backs up, looks at it, because it's an automatic door when it's, business hours are open.
So
but I turned it off.
Yeah.
Backs up, and I'm not shitting you when I say she walked into it a second time and backed up again and looked at it, and had I not gone over and opened the door, I truly believe number 3 was coming up. Yeah, so you can be very smart and be stupid as a fucking rock, dude.
Hey, that's why the military doesn't necessarily go off academic scores. They test them with the ASVAB, man. I mean, let's see how you are about logic, common sense, and mechanical skills. I mean,
yeah, I've known enough people that have been in the military to know they're not really concerned with you being smart.
Absolutely. Hey, you might be great at something, just it's not academics.
If you take orders well, I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, alright, well, I think that's pretty much all we had on tap. I think this went longer than I was thinking it was going to, so looks like we did a good job. Alright, well, from the crew here at Trailer Trash Talk, we want to thank you for watching. If you're interested in endorsing us, I mean, it's a hot commodity. Just go ahead and drop a link, an email to the address we're going to have below. Thank you again for watching. Click the like and subscribe buttons, and just hammer that shit home. Have a good night.
Forgot to fuck you and suck my dick.
Well, this isn't a
fantasy.